The UN Secretary-General has described a major report on progress towards tackling climate change as a file of shame that represents a litany of broken promises. António Guterres warned that global warming is on track to more than double the 1.5-degree limit agreed to in 2015.
Climate change is now happening so fast that leaving oil in the ground is no longer enough. A new assessment by scientists working for the United Nations shows we need to halve our greenhouse gas emissions in just 8 years. But we also need to find some way of removing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere to undo the damage of the past.
We are on a fast track to climate disaster. Major cities underwater, unprecedented heat waves, terrifying storms, widespread water shortages, the extinction of 1 million species of plants and animals. And this is not fiction or exaggeration. It is what science tells us will result from our current energy policies.
Nature can be our ally, according to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. Steered marshes in Somerset cover just 1 square mile, but they remove and store almost 18,000 tonnes of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere every year. Scale that up, plant trees, stop peat bogs being drained, and rewilding could buy us time.
It can happen relatively quickly. We know how to do it. It takes time. Steer, took 8 years or so, but in the grand scheme of things, that's not a long time. And if we unlock these sorts of solutions at scale, we can do this within the next 5 to 10 years and buy ourselves that time to bring the technologies on stream in the longer term to reduce our emissions further.
The first attempts are being made to use technology to suck carbon dioxide out of the air and store it underground. It's expensive and inefficient for now, but the UN scientists say without it, there is little hope of reining in the rapid rise in global temperatures.
The Glasgow Climate Conference was just a small step in the right direction. Pledges to cut emissions are not the same as action, and at the moment the world is still on course for 3 degrees of warming.
The report is scathing about our continued use of fossil fuels, coal in particular. It calls for an even more rapid shift to renewables, more energy-efficient housing, and a rethink of how we design cities so people need to drive less. One of the scientists says it can be done.
If we act now, if we act rapidly, if we make the big transformational changes that are necessary, there's still a glimmer of hope of getting to 1.5. And if we miss 1.5, we still stopped it going 1.6, 1.7, 1.8. So whatever effort we put in will save lives.
The report was delayed by 2 days as 195 governments wrangled over the text. The UN chief has accused them of lying over their past climate commitments, and scientists are clear on the urgent need for action. It's now or never. Thomas Moore, Sky News.